right. Very warm welcome to everyone. Thank you for joining us for this live masterclass session today with our public speaking expert and our pitching expert, Jeremiah O'Brien. We are very pleased to have you here on the call and allow us to start with huge congratulations to you and your team for being here, because it means that you have made it to the quarterfinals of the App Olympic. So huge congrats for making it this far. We have a thrilling agenda for you today. So allow me to quickly share my screen with you for the only purpose that it's been communicated with you yesterday in the weekly update via HouseSpace, but we wanted to make sure that everyone has access on their HouseSpace under the Learning Hub. We have created a specific dedicated page for today on which you have the direct buttons to be joining us. And you also have the 2 worksheets available for downloads, the worksheets that Jeremiah will be referring throughout the next 2 hours and a half. So 3 live sessions today. Right now, we have a 2.5-hour session where Jeremiah is going to take us into deeper understanding of the importance of avatar, customer journey, and what should a good pitch look like. And then we will have a 3rd hour together where it will be open floor for you to voluntarily, if you want to share your pitch with Jeremiah and get live feedback, or if you have live questions you would like to ask, this will be the time. Now, in the meantime, any questions you may have, do feel free to pop them in the chat so you don't forget them. We will make sure that we keep track of them and that all of the questions shared in the chat are addressed. Also, this masterclass is being recorded, and the recording will be made available on HouseSpace, just like any other webinars or classes we've done together. For example, if we go on HouseSpace Learning Hub Pitch, you see that last week's masterclass with Jeremiah, along the worksheets and the slides and the different video and link he shared with us are already on HouseSpace. So today's session will also be available for your reference. So without any further ado, Jeremiah, the floor is yours. Thank you so very much for your generous time being with us today again.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. Thank you for having me. Hi, everyone. Welcome back, or welcome if it is your first time. Again, congratulations to everybody who's made it this far. This is clearly, it's obviously a competition, and you all are doing such great work. You're making it this far, and how exciting what the grand prize is going to be. So, so I hope you all feel this enthusiasm. I quote, if I remember correctly, I believe it's J.D. Rockefeller who said that it is enthusiasm that is the key to all success. That is the ingredient that makes the yeast rise in the bread, that the firmness in the handshake, and he goes on with other examples. But that is to say, enthusiasm is infectious. And so I hope you all are buzzing with this enthusiasm and excited about this opportunity to learn more about really connecting with who matters, which is to say, in your pitch. Let me do a bit of a recap from last week. I'm going to share my screen, just a moment. All right, hopefully you all can see my deck here, pitch deck, right? Let me just double check. That's what I have up. Hopefully you all can see this deck, and if you can't, just drop a message in the chat and we'll help you out with your tech.
Thank you. It is very clear.
Great. Thank you very much. So last week we covered pitch dynamics, story branding, that is to say, brand scripting, the one-liner. We talked about value proposition creation. We talked about the key questions to ask yourself for brand development, beginning, or that is to say, basic, intermediate, and advanced levels of those questions. And then ultimately, we fielded what I call practical problems. That is to say, practical questions that you all might struggle with. And today we're going to be expanding on that. We're going to be talking about the avatar mostly, and then your user journey. Let's unpack avatar a little bit. So before I jump into Avatar, welcome to this class. This is what we'll be focusing on today, and and please feel free to reference your worksheets and any other course material that you've taken that would enhance this experience, like design thinking. I know you all have had some work on that. So the persona, also known as the avatar or ideal customer persona, what is that? If I may get some class participation, if you would, please tell me what you all believe to be your specific avatar or customer or ideal customer persona. These are all kind of hash synonyms of one another. Go ahead and put it in your chat. So that way you can see where you started, share it, uh, read everybody's comments who is sharing, and then let's go back. Let's see where you started and then where we end at the end of this class. I think it's always important to see what one's trajectory is, where the improvement is happening. Um, so, what is your avatar? We go through a lot of demographics, and you all have probably seen in the worksheet that um, that your persona is made up, like a human being is made up of different components of information, right? Um, how old we are, what our gender is, our buying habits, etc. But we're more than just that. Yeah. So yes, think of it as a detailed representation of your ideal user. However, again, it's more than just demographics. It's about understanding this person's needs, their deep needs, and ultimately to understand a person's psychology, their behavior, their habits. That is really to say you understand who they are and what they need, and therefore you may be able to have a deeper insight and hopefully even predict what the need might be. So this understanding of the persona is critical in the development of the persona is critical in understanding the persona or the avatar. But in so much as it facilitates your app, your user experience. This may give a bit of context. You know, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. So thinking of who your ideal customer is, yeah, and how does your app facilitate their experience? How does it meet their need? Ultimately, they know what their need is. You should know what their need is. And obviously, the solution should be self evident, in so much as it's like, it's an epiphany. It's like, oh my God, how did I live without this until this time? And then it's so sticky with results and rewards and benefits that they don't want to leave. Yeah. And why do they not want to leave? And we'll get to that in a bit. But think about that. Think about human psychology, which is to say human chemistry. Yeah. Think about that. Why do we stick with things? Why do we go back to the well, as it were, again and again and again? There's a reason why. There's a lot of data that points to this in social media and why people stay on social media. Okay. Empathy driven solutions. So, again, Let me get some class participation. What is an empathy-driven solution? Go ahead and type that into the chat. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at this chat and see what you all are putting in here. Good, good, good. Okay, I see more persona. If you would please field the question of an empathy-driven solution. You all did design thinking, so you understand the components of this process, this iterative process, and how empathy is critical into that. What is empathy? So understanding your user's emotions. I think we talked about this last class. There's three ways to connect to an audience of one or an audience of many, and that could be very many, or it might be a few VCs. For example, it may be an online audience and or an in-person audience. Whatever it is, three ways to connect to an audience: ethos, pathos, logos. Pathos is what impacts us and makes us want to take action. So empathy is at the heart of effective design. That is to say, it drives understanding. It drives understanding as this feedback loop between your app and the person interfacing with your app, your client, your customer. It is at the heart of effective design, which is to say, when we truly understand our user slash avatar slash persona slash ideal customer, when we understand our users' feelings and experiences, we can create solutions that not only meet their needs, but delight them, right? Because it is enough, right, to have a solution, but isn't it even better? Don't we want to wow somebody? I mean, when Amazon had next day shipping, I mean, everybody was like, great. When they first came out with Prime, I know I'm using Amazon right now because they're obviously uh, a big company and they've made a lot of innovation. Um, but ultimately, if you can not only meet my need, do it quicker, faster, cheaper, quote Jeff Bezos, but you can delight me in the process. Like opening a box is like a present. It's like any holiday that you celebrate where you're opening a box. Um, that delights us. It reminds us of something and it gives us an emotional connection to your experience. So keep empathy as a guiding principle. And if you would, again, write in the chat, how can you include empathy in your app? How can you use empathy that leads to more effective and engaging experiences with your customer through your app? Yeah. Thinking of your ideal customer. Yes. Thinking of need as Maslow's hierarchy of need, for example. And if you all would maybe just go do a quick Google search if you're not familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of need, but take a look at the needs and how important these foundational needs are. They're hardwired into us, and we have a visceral emotional response to those needs. And if you can connect to either of those foundational needs or one of the three human drives, that is to say, if you can understand me, if you can empathize with me enough to understand my emotions, my experience, then you'll be able to provide me with a solution that not only meets that need, but it stimulates, it ignites that emotion in so much as I will use your service again and again and again and again because I get that. And I'm kind of giving you the answer right now, but I'll get that dopamine release every time I use that because it's so igniting, it's so carbonating. Come up with it's so effervescent. Yeah, I would come up with kind of very stimulating and delicious words for your pitches, right? Because who doesn't want to feel carbonated? Yeah, great. Let me check out the chat. I see a lot of buzzing going on in here. 1%. We can include empathy in our app as a way to find out their specific needs, that our app can fulfill them, suppose through emotional means. Yeah, and I would go a bit deeper with that, go even further with that. Yeah. Who is your ideal customer persona? And I would get your avatar. And I would get so specific face. They're not just a series of data points. Ultimately, you can't really connect to a data point. If I were your ideal customer persona, clearly I have data points, and clearly I'm going to fit into some targeted segments of your market, or maybe I am the quintessential avatar, in so much as every aspect of my profile is who you want to target. That being said, you still need to connect to me, Jeremiah. I'm not going to connect necessarily with you because you know my age and my height and my buying habits on Amazon, or what time I wake up in the morning or go to sleep at night. You might be able to connect to one of those data points through a really well crafted and empathetic, emotionally evoking means whereby, i.e., a story. Yeah. Here is another comment. Oh, this is good. This is a four-parter. Uh, One, accessible investment platform. Two, I'm going quickly here, everybody. You all can read this in the chat. Flexible ownership options. Three, community building. Four, transparency and trust. Excellent. Now, I would say, how do you connect with me emotionally? Yeah. So again, remember, empathy is at the heart of effective design. Think of Apple. Apple's amazing design. They really understand. They have cult following. If I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong, anybody, I believe that they were the first company to hit the $1 trillion mark. So correct me if I'm wrong, but they have such a rabid following, and it started with design. Jobs was an amazing designer, right? Also an amazing artist of using the spoken word for pitching ideas. Okay, I think we got empathy. Yeah. Empathy obviously involves relationship and other people, as you can see illustrated here. We are in relationship always to people, places, things. Yes, always to time, to space. We're in relationship with things that we can't see, hear, taste, or touch, like love. Yeah, that's one of the human needs on Maslow's hierarchy of needs that I would tap into. Everybody should love your product. They should love your app. How do you get your app to stimulate love? Yeah. It's the I would argue it's the strongest of the three human drives. So maybe take a look at that, how you can empathize with your customer in such a way that it stimulates that. I mean, there's a whole industry, at least in the United States, surrounding love in February on Valentine's Day. So maybe take a look at that. And I would say anytime families get together, or anytime there's a holiday gathering, we're connected, we're in relationships. So empathy and emotions inherently have these tides. Yeah. All right. So I want you all to define your avatar. On the next slide, there's some steps. I'm going to show you in a moment. But if you would, I would like you to empathize with your avatar, with your ideal persona. And I want you to consider their lifestyle, right? You're in Dubai. This is a very specific kind of lifestyle. I'm in the United States. I live in Malibu. It's a very quiet beach community. Again, you can look this up on the Google, and the Google will show you the contrast between Malibu and Dubai, though I love Dubai. But you can see that there is a different kind of lifestyle. So how would you appeal to whoever your avatar is with their lifestyle, their challenges? Perhaps that lifestyle comes with challenges. Perhaps these challenges are a byproduct of this lifestyle and they're connected. And how can your app be the solution, and they can reap all of these benefits that will delight them and stimulate this emotional connection with your app? Feel free to share your thoughts in the chat. Here are the steps right here: demographic information, psychographic, behavioral, pain points and challenges, goals and aspirations. How does your app fit, meet their need? How does it create emotional connection with the user? How? Yeah, go through that. Take a couple of moments right now. I'm going to give you some time. I know I talk a lot. I'm going to keep this up for a moment so you have this to refer to. But please go through this exercise. Better you do it here and do the iterative process right now. Yeah. And throw your questions, throw your comments, and also throw what you find, what you develop into the chat. Semena, prioritizing user-centered design, personalized experience, clear and compassionate communication, acknowledgement of emotion, regular user feedback. Okay, great. These are great as bullet points. Really nice, concise, um, clear details addressing all of this. That said, now connect to me emotionally rather than clinically. Everybody, remember, we are a full instrument of a human body, which comes with not just a head but also a heart. So you have to connect to not just my logic, my logos, and not just my ethos, my ethics or morality. You also need to connect to my pathos, right? Empathy, emotional connection. We are emotional beings. There's no way around it. Doesn't matter how how much you don't want that, and you may see, as I have seen in my life, that the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Well, not with human beings, not necessarily. The shortest distance is however you're going to make that emotional connection. That's why there's so much resources poured into marketing. Yeah, people like me go and consult with businesses and help them refine their messaging, distill it down into something that's concise, but also that's something that is impactful. Yeah, you want to tell a story, your story, it's kind of this continual narrative. Yeah, kind of drawing on from our session last week, this continual hero's journey, yeah, where you're pitching you're positioning, I should say, and pitching to your customer as the hero of their journey. Connect to them emotionally, not just data points. Yeah. So again, demographic information, you just need to know this to know who you're dealing with. Yeah. You know that someone like me, white male, 6 feet from the United States, is going to be very different than 5'5" female from India, for example. Yeah. So that information is helpful to understand your demographic, but it's not everything, and it's ultimately it could be distancing if you don't integrate it all together and make it an actual human being. Yeah, great. My avatar. Give us an example. Um, Yeah, yeah. Ask me a more specific question. Can I give you an example? Because I'm using myself as an example, obviously, because I know me. I can use some of my clients as I'll give you an example of one of my avatars, because I have multiple verticals in what I do. One of my avatars are students who want to go to university in the United States or in the UK. Top 20 schools, top 100 schools worldwide, but top 20 schools in the US. and the UK. And so that is a targeted demographic. So students coming out of high school, going into college, and want to get into their dream college. That is a very specific ideal customer persona. But who am I really targeting? Because the students don't have the money to pay for college unless they get student loans, which is usually not possible for international students. So it's the parents, right? That is really the ideal customer persona. That is the avatar that I'm targeting. So that parent who cares about their child, the student who's going from high school into college, that comes with a whole collection of information. And obviously, because we serve different markets in different countries, um, I have to have data on each of those markets, geography, occupation, education level, income level, and then you start to see themes throughout. Yeah, great. Hopefully that helped. My application help you to save time, money, and your energy in your traveling experience. That's great though. I would, I mean, I travel a lot. I'm constantly traveling, so I would love this, but I would love how you're going to save me time, money, and energy, by or through or doing or applying. Yeah. Ultimately, there has to be a how in there because that's going to give me a bit more, but also if you know me well, that's probably built into um, if you know me, again, I'm going to use myself as the avatar for this example. If you were to know me well enough, you would know that time for me is the most precious resource, more than money, more than food. Time is the most precious resource. We can never make more of it, and we can never get it back. Money, you can always make more of that. So if you were to somehow craft this, my application, help you save time, money, and energy in your traveling experience, well, you have my attention at time, but now I want to know, how can you save me time? How can you streamline this in such a way? And if you can um, pinpoint that just right for me, that is to say, go through my app and in 30 seconds you'll be able to do so, giving me some actual data. Yeah, you'll be able to book your flight, book your hotel, book your car in like a 1, 2, 3 sequence, and you'll never have to talk to another customer service representative again. I'll be like, sold. Where do I go, Doha? Yeah. So you see, you've created an experience for me. You've created your user journey for me. So much good stuff in here. You all are putting some really great comments. Oh, someone wrote on our board here. Let's see here. Okay. I put this slide in here for you all. I thought you all might find that humorous. I know, like kind of like a dad joke, but in slide form. Anyhow, mapping your user journey. All right. So user journey. Everybody, we know it. We know what UI is, and so this is where we visualize the path that the user takes through your app, right? What are we looking for here? What do we want to create for the customer? Now, I've had many developers in my lifetime, a lifetime of entrepreneurship and development, working with developers, I should say, and one developer put this in the most precisely perfect way that I've ever heard, and I've always used this as the example, whether I'm speaking with other developers, new developers, bringing onboarding developers onto our team, is that you want to customize this experience as if you were bringing someone in your home and they had the most pleasant experience walking from the door to the couch, and waiting for them was already their favorite drink. And I just always thought that imagery of ease and the least amount of friction, but also predicting someone's need or want, but preferably their need. Yeah, that is emotionally engaging. Yeah. So understanding this path your user takes, um, with your app, but also revealing their along this path that either through the lack of friction and or the inclusion of stimulus that would evoke emotions, that would evoke this. And again, depending on who your avatar is and what the demographic is, what will determine what that is for you, right? Someone in real estate is going to be different than someone in fintech versus ed tech versus a jewelry brand. Yeah, these are all going to be very different in terms of stimulation. Yeah, but go back to the needs because how that is. How that's hardwired in us, ultimately the data that you get will determine how you can pull that out. Yeah, how you can pull those emotional carbonating moments out for us. So again, I would say the least amount of friction and predictable.
Hello.
Oh, hello, hi. I think that was Pro 87. Hello. Um, Okay, so moving on to the user journey mapping, this is where we visualize the path the user takes with the app from discovery to regular use. Each step is an opportunity to connect, solve their problems, and create delight, create this emotional connection with them. Yeah, my little picture for that. Key elements of your user journey.
Hi.
So take a look at this, everybody. And if you would, please put in the chat, what are the key elements of your user journey? What are the touch points?
Perhaps Jeremiah. All right. Perhaps Jeremiah, I can just jump in here while you unmute yourself, please. While everyone is reflecting on the key elements of their user journey, we would encourage you to go and visit the House Space page that we had shared with you at the very beginning of this call because on the House Space, it's really where you have access to the worksheet where you can perhaps better understand what Jeremiah is referring to when it comes to the avatar elements as well as the key elements of the user journey. Thank you. Jeremiah, back over to you. I believe you are unmuted now. Thank you.
I believe I am. Thank you very much for that. I don't know how I got muted. Anyhow, wherever I left off, I'm just going to pick up right here. I'm not sure where I got muted at. So the key elements of your user journey, I'd like everybody to, in the chat, if you would please type out what are the touch points of your user's interaction with your app? What do you need to build in to interact with them? What are these specific touch points? And then what are the emotions that you want to evoke in them at each touch point? So just simply, you could draw this out. Yeah, you can make it very visual for yourself, but sketch this out or write it out or both. There are 5 primary emotions. There are nearly 30 secondary emotions and nearly 100 tertiary emotions. So I would say get creative here. I mean, obviously the primary emotions we all know and love. If you've seen Inside Out, those are the primary emotions. What we ultimately you must know what you want to evoke in your avatar, your persona, your ideal customer. You must know at what point you want to stimulate joy and at what point you want to stimulate uh, um, love or at what point, etc. Yeah. And then opportunities, identifying the areas for improvement and innovation. Um, Again, you all have gone through design thinking. You understand that iterative process. There are many others: Agile, Scrum, SAP. I would recommend uh, ultimately, I believe having a very diverse toolbox skill set to draw from. But I think design thinking is phenomenal for this. So I would take a look at how you can continually innovate. Yeah. What are the key elements of your user's journey? Yeah, they consist of various touch points, emotions. Write that into the chat. I'm going to go and look in just a moment. So identify these, understand how these integrate into your app and enhance the user's experience at each stage. Yeah. Keep your avatar in mind. Who are they? How are they going to respond? How are they going to feel? How are they going to react? Yeah, we're a very sophisticated audience these days. And so you all obviously very sophisticated as well, in many different ways, but you have seen every version of story out there from no doubt from the big platforms like Prime and Netflix, et cetera, Disney Plus. So you know what consists of a journey. You know what consists or what cause and effect relationship there is between action, reaction. Yeah, a touch point, emotional response. Yes. All right, let me see what you all put here in the chat. Our app is very interactive for the user. This would contribute to us helping the consumer evoke the emotions freely and help us receive any feedback we can get. Um, how is it interactive? Yeah. What are the touch points specifically? What touch points can you identify specifically? Yeah, with corresponding emotion. Yeah. I want my avatar to feel joy at this point. I want them to feel relief at this other point. I want them to feel understood at this point. Yeah, maybe your particular experience has a fear element in it. Maybe a fear of missing out, right? Everybody has that these days. FOMO. I don't because I meditate, but you get what I'm saying. Maybe that's built in. A scarcity model is built into your app. Yeah. Like buy it now, it's going fast, we're having a flash sale, all of that. Like Amazon has these as well, right? These tactics are used widely. Can you please give an example of a touch point? It seems a little vague to me. Yeah, a touch point is when the user is interacting with your product. Let's think of Amazon. Does everybody have Amazon app on their phone? I do, and I order from it all the time. A touch point is when uh, maybe I'm at the save for later cart. Or maybe a touch point is when I first open it up and it's showing me the things that I've last browsed. Yeah. A touch point is maybe it gives me the option of subscribing or buying now. Yeah. You're predicting my need. Ultimately, how do you interact with me that gives me the least amount of friction? I would say. Yeah. Because I mean, you could build in a touch point that you might have multiple touch points, but some might be redundant. And I would say that's the iterative process of understanding the emotion that maybe you need less, maybe you need a little bit more, but ultimately, obviously, it depends on your avatar. Fatima, I have a problem connecting all the details we gain from our customers and the ideas we have. It gets kind of confusing how to solve the problem without failing, and also how to see this app from all different areas, all perspectives. Well, that's a great question. I'm going to take a moment here to answer this. Let me go on to the next slide. So your customer journey. So maybe for the visual folks, this might help right here. What is the 1, 2, 3, 4 for your avatar? So I think the way that you connect all the details is by giving this person an identity. So they should be a real person ultimately at the end of the day. all of my avatars now, or my ideal customer persona, that's the language that we use, or persona, um, they have names because they're actual customers. They're just the ideal version of that customer segment for me. So what I would do is I would find that person. If you don't have that person in your ecosystem yet, this is part of the design thinking process. Go out and do mini interviews and reviews. Yeah, once you have something, and get feedback on that. Yeah, so I would start somewhere, but they need to be an actual human being with like a face, a name, identifiable. So if you saw this person in the mall, you'd be like, that's my ideal customer right there. That's my avatar. That's my persona. I should go talk to them. Yeah. And ultimately you'll condition yourself so much so that it'll become second nature. You'll just know it like the back of your hand, because it has taken on, and I would venture to say, Fatima, and all of you who might have this question of how do I take the data and make it personal? Like, you know this already, because every human being in your life is a composite of all of this data. You just need to make it personal. And I would say, ask yourself two questions. This is kind of not included in any of the slides, so this is special information for those who are in this course right now. I would say there's two components to a relationship. Who are you to me? Yeah. And then, what is our emotional relationship? Yeah, I think that might make it more personal for you. Yeah, who are you to me? Because if it's just customer, oh, you're just my customer. Well, then maybe that's not good enough. Yeah, maybe it needs to be more specific. Maybe you're my neighbor who always has a problem with delivery service or people stealing her packages. So we've come up with a solution, and Amazon did this, for example, with like the lockers, right? That was a solution for that particular situation that was happening. Um, Second part of this, and I don't think, Fatima, you have to view this from all different perspectives. If you try to view it from all different perspectives, you might get lost. I would get lost, I think. I don't need to view it from all perspectives per se. What I need to view it from is my avatar's perspective. That's who I need to really empathize with and understand. All different perspectives will come from multiple interviews and feedback through an iterative process with that specific avatar. Obviously, that might be different people, but it's still the same type of persona, yeah, of person, yeah. I hope that that helps. Um, Touch point, patriotism. I think I think that's the emotion more than the actual touch point. Yeah, the touch point is how I interface with you. Yeah, I mean, there are parts of patriotism. Patriotism is more like an idea with an emotional connection to it. Yeah, but maybe a touch point might be walking into a facility that would give me a sense of patriotism. Yeah. Okay, good. There's a lot of great feedback in here. Well done, everybody. Really nicely done. Amna, if you are an inventor and would like to meet people that will support you in your journey, a platform that will connect you with like-minded people and support you to turn your dream into reality. Um, I, narrative that you're creating, if you are this type of person and would love to meet people, I'm assuming, not just like you, but who will fund, support, maybe collaborate in your journey. I love that you're including the word journey in there. Join our platform that will connect you with like-minded people to support you to turn your dream into reality. I love you using the words like dream and these are and journey. These are like emotionally evoking words, folks. But also the juxtaposition, which is to say the transition, the antithesis of dream and reality. Yeah, You see how that creates automatically starts to create imagery in my mind. And that's what you want to do, folks. If you create a narrative, if you take all of your data to understand your avatar, and then you create a narrative, a story, which would be your pitch, with this kind of language, that's how you appeal to the persona, the avatar. Nicely done right there. Okay. Okay, so identifying your product's unique selling points. We talked a bit about this in the last session, but again, I want to take some comments from everybody. What makes your product stand out? Huh? Aligning your USP with your users' needs. What are those? Brainstorm. Let's brainstorm this. Let's brainstorm your app's unique selling points. Put them in the chat. Let's refine it. Get the feedback from your peers right now. Yeah. Help each other. Comment on each other's comments. Not to be redundant. What sets your app apart in the market? What are your key differentiating factors? Your key differentiators. What makes you different than this other app over here that's a competitor? How does it uniquely address your users' pain points, the problem? Share your thoughts in the chat. Let's discuss. Comment on each other's in constructive ways. Obviously, I know I don't need to say that. You all are great people, but add in there. What are your unique selling points? Again, you're going to have to communicate this. You're going to have to tell this to people. Why not refine it right now? Why not use this as part of your iterative process? Yeah. And comment on each other's, help each other get better. Again, get feedback. Obviously, you don't have to take everybody's feedback, but see what would be a great insight. See who gets it right. And everybody, I would say give feedback from the perspective of informed feedback. Yeah. Informed meaning that you understand this selling point, or you can see how they could actually make it better because that's something that appeals to you specifically. Yeah. Let's brainstorm here. All right, let me take some comments from Mohammed. My app allows you to secure your future. Tell me how, please. That could be a unique selling point, but I want to know how. Secure my future how? Financially, emotionally, educationally? Is this a marriage app? You know, like how are you securing my future? Tell me. And what makes you different than the other version of this? Yeah. Tekka, it's blockchain secured, fraud resistant ticketing, flexible pay, what you want pricing, and unique TAOT share for easy ticket reselling. The TAOT, forgive me, I don't know how to pronounce that. It looks like tout, artist subscriber pass enhances fan artist connections, while VR, AR features and social timeline enrich the user journey, aligning perfectly with modern event goers' desire for security, flexibility, and community. Tekka, that's phenomenally specific and comprehensive. I would just take all of that and turn that into a narrative. Yeah, obviously we're talking about blockchain. Obviously we're talking about ease of use, right? And you're telling me specifically how. I would take like top three, and then create the journey. Yeah, because otherwise I get inundated with facts. Yeah, but this is great though. This is great. These are your unique selling points. And I know I asked for a list. I'm just giving feedback as to how you could integrate this into a pitch. Yeah, really nice, really specific. Uh, Mode. Our app idea offers Dubai's business a risk-free pay after results approach to assuring guaranteed influencer marketing, campaign results, and superior UGC, revolutionizing marketing with no initial investment. This is interesting, but I would also say I want to know. Something a bit more specific about this. So, whereas the last one on tout was very specific and comprehensive, in so much as there was a lot of data. This right here leaves me wanting a little bit more. Our app idea offers Dubai's business a risk-free, that's great, pay after results approach, love that, to assuring guaranteed influencer marketing. I'm in the space of influencer marketing, so that's got my attention. Campaign results and superior UGC, revolutionizing marketing with no initial investment. I want to know more about that last part. Right. And I actually would say maybe put that up front. Anytime you say, you said risk free, but is it free? You know, if there's no money down, no initial investment. I want to know, how can I use this? Will it work? Is this for real? Is it too good to be true? Yeah. So these are the questions that come up for me. Hopefully that helps you refine that a little bit more, but it is tantalizing. I will say that. Abdallah, securing the future could through investing in real estate with tailored investment plans. This is really clean. This is really clean, but I would say, how does yours uh, uh, differentiate in the market? How is yours different than another investing or real estate or investment plan kind of app or platform interface? Yeah, because there's a lot there right now. So how would you differ? Yeah. And let me brainstorm with you all right now. Some of the ways that I think you can differentiate are probably the things that maybe we overlook the most, like our relationships, for example. Our businesses are built on relationships, B2B, B2C, B2G, right? You need relationships. You must have relationships. So and I've heard it say in maybe a more cheesy American way that your network is your net worth. Perhaps. But I would also say that um, hello, hello, Arwa, welcome. I would also say that, oh gosh, what was I saying? Oh man, I had a great thought. I forgot. Sorry, everybody. Um, Fatima, we use AI to help our customers to use their old clothes or worn out ones in another way instead of throwing them away by giving ideas of what they can do and how they do it. Huh. That's interesting. See, this has me hooked. I would say, Fatima, this is very unique, and I want to know a little bit more. So this has hooked me. And I would say you could build this out a little bit more, yeah? But it's really nice in that it grabs my attention right away. The fact that you're pulling in AI. Yeah, that's obviously a hot topic these days. Bassem, the intern sets itself apart by offering a holistic approach to internship related needs, encompassing job listings, networking, financial management, and educational resources. It focuses on user empowerment and community building, makes it an interesting and valuable tool for interns and students looking to kickstart their careers. I would say, Bassem, this is really nicely done. Oh, Arwa, we can hear you. Um, Bassem, I would say this is really nicely done. Really well crafted, but also I would say it's really densely packed with um, key differentiators with information, right? I know who you're talking about. I know exactly who this person is, right? It's called The Intern, right? So there's no guesswork here. I mean, I'm a professor, I work in education. I know how important internships, jobs, finances, networking, community building, all of this is to students or to graduating students. So right here we have kind of perhaps even an idea of who his avatar is, specifically, like maybe graduating, or maybe the year before graduating, or an international student who's looking for a job upon graduation. Uh, Warda, Stella, we outstand over our competitors by providing a multi-platform with gamified and personalized learning experience, easy to use. Great. This is great. I want to know a little bit more. I want to know, mm, what is the learning experience? What am I learning? Am I learning about real estate? Am I learning about finance? Is this like Coursera or edX? You know, is this like a giant platform with, or Udemy? Is this like a giant platform with multiple different, like everything under the sun kind of courses? What kind of learning experiences is, because if you don't tell me what kind of learning experience, then I won't know exactly like what you're selling. Yeah. My app, Doha, my app gives the user a new experience in traveling to create a program for them related to their time, want to spend in a country, city, and also depending on their budget, depending on their interest, it will do the work and guide it 100% based on AI. This gives me more. Yeah. So this is much better, Doha. Really nice. You can see that there's improvement in the iteration here. Really nice. Folks, this is really great work. Comment on each other's posts. I see you all liking and thumbs upping. This is really helpful to each other. I hope you all can see that. Um, okay, now we're getting into problem solving with the user's needs. Yeah. So obviously, you know, there's a pain point, there's a problem. Identifying it is only part of it. Solving it is the next part of that equation. Um, but prioritizing that, yeah, identifying and prioritizing what needs, you know, maybe there are multiple needs. Yeah. Developing a solution that's steeped in uh, this design thinking, iterative, empathetic process. Yeah. So focusing on aligning your solutions with real challenges, not because you have an idea and this is the market that you want to go into, but did it actually serves a purpose, meets a need, and addresses real challenges? Yeah. Like, I don't know, maybe childcare in the United States, that's a big one. So if someone were to create an app that solved that solution, like the Uber of childcare, watch, I just gave somebody $1 billion idea. You're welcome, whoever invents that. Um, think about how your app can make a tangible difference in your user's life. This is key, key to your pitch. This is key to your pitch to your customer as the product, and it's key to your pitch to win this competition. That is to say, to anybody who will invest time, money, resources, expertise, advisory into your app. That is to say, your business, your venture. It has to be about solving real challenges. It has to make a difference in the market, because anybody who's a smart investor, they're going to know that that is. Oh, please mute yourself. Thank you very much. Um, where was I? Just a second. Sorry, I lost my place. Um, think about how your app can make a tangible difference in your user's life. So we need to be in service. Yeah. And many of you probably already know this, that you're in service of others. Yeah. And that's why you've created this app. And that maybe probably makes logical sense. Well, yeah, of course, Jeremiah, we have a customer. So yeah, we're serving them. But really serving them means that you're resolving their problem. That means that you're giving them a solution to a real life challenge, that you're not just seeing an opportunity for a spike in interest like AI, for example, but that this AI solves the problem of recycling or sorting recycling or processing scholarships for international students or internship applications. Yeah. Something like this, that it really addresses a real user, a real life user need, a challenge. Yeah. It's a puzzle. We're putting together a puzzle like people are puzzles, right? Okay. Um, I would like you all, there's more steps here, but I want you to create a visual map of your user journey. So get something to draw, write with, get some paper out. I want you to create a visual map. Yeah. Sometimes this can all stay in your head, but as we all know, when you're doing advanced math problems in your head, usually you don't get it right. So I want you to write it out. Yeah, I want you to write this journey out, draw it out, write it out, write and draw it out. But actually draw rather than just type and rather than doodle on a device. I want you to actually draw it out, write it out. See if you can. See if you can map your entire journey visually, right? Because obviously the app is a visual interface. Yeah. You can use the worksheet, or here we go. Did I get that right? Yeah. So these are the 6 points that I want you to address in your user journey, right? Take a look at this, read through these through initial contact, consideration, conversion, regular use, loyalty, advocacy, feedback, and improvement. How can you build this into your user journey? Yeah. I'm going to give you a few minutes, if you would. Write that out, draw that out. So using the user journey mapping worksheet, create a visual map of your user's journey. These are the like top 6. These are bullet points, but obviously it's unpacked much more in your worksheet. Take this time, this exercise will help you identify the key moments where your app can truly address real life need. Yeah. It can make a real difference. Yeah. That can make this emotional impact. Draw this out. Make sure that it makes total sense to you. Feel free to share your maps after you've drawn this out.
Jeremiah, you've been muted.
Hi, everyone. Yes, technical difficulty here. Jeremiah has been muted because some of you keep unmuting yourself, probably by accident, but it caused a lot of interference. So if you can please be mindful that there are so many of us on this call right now. We're all joining from different part of the world. Jeremiah, apologies, you were unmuted for the last 20 seconds, but you were inviting everyone to look at the top 6 criteria to include in the user journey, and everyone can also find the link to the direct worksheet on HowSpace where you can download the visual support that Jeremiah has been referring to. The link is in the chat.
Great. Thank you so much. Yeah, I didn't know what happened there. Thank you for letting me know. So we are at visualizing the user journey. So let's create this visual map. Again, I'm not sure where I left off, but essentially what I want you to do is to create a visual map of your user journey so you can identify the key moments where your app can truly address your customers' needs, a real life concern or challenge. Yeah, feel free to share your maps after. Maybe you take a picture of it, upload it into the chat or drop it into the chat, however you can do that. Or if you want to type it out, you can type it out. But I first want you to go through the exercise of drawing it out. There is a relationship between pen and brain, or pencil and brain. So draw this out, write this out, like actually write it out. I know we're a typing generation. I mean, that's basically how I write these days anyway, on a computer or with my thumbs on my phone. But I want you to take this opportunity to write it out, draw it out, create the steps from initial contact all the way through the entire experience. Yeah, through the entire journey. Create a visual map. I'm sure you have wireframes galore. You all have figured all of this out visually, so you probably know it like the back of your hand. But can you draw it out? Take this opportunity to identify these key moments. Perhaps right now you're pushing yourself a little bit harder. You're like, Jeremiah, we've already done all this work, but perhaps maybe one of you gets a great idea, and that great idea pushes this forward just enough. Yeah. Great. Start dropping your comments in the chat. Okay, Ward Estella, feeling curious while seeing it on social, feeling excited to use the app, then joyful when they play the games and learn. 3, satisfaction when they learn effectively about astronomy. 4, they decide to buy subscription to make this experience endless. 5, recommend it to their peers. That is succinct. Warder, really well done. Really nicely done. Everybody take a look at that in the chat. That's really nicely done. If you need an example of what that could be, obviously, that's for her particular avatar, for her particular app and user experience. But everybody, if you would, just take note of that. That's really concise. Yeah. Ahmed, give you an applause. Very nice. We're very supportive in here, aren't we? Um, uh, it should be as like a product map. Um, no, not quite a product map. We're talking about the user journey. We're mapping the journey of the user. So as the customer, not just the product, but as the customer, yeah? Because the product itself doesn't have emotions. The customer is going to use this to either the app is the product or to access the product, like Amazon, for example. Yeah, great. Oh, there's a few more. Just a second. Um, Umair, thinking it's too good to be true when seeing it on social media or hearing it from other. 2, excited to try out the app to sell their own old books and make money rather than the books being wasted, and people excited to buy books um, cheaper than the market. This sounds reminiscent of Amazon. No, everybody. 3, satisfaction when they get books cheaper and the seller also makes money. 4, they keep using our app and spread the word. That is also really succinct. Yeah, really. Um, yeah, I don't have any comments on that. Everybody, take note of those two. They're really succinct. I mean, obviously, you can iterate that and build that out more, right? As to how you do that with a button or with a call to action, what that call to action would actually be. But this is a good starting point, everybody. These 2 examples. Um, And this is kind of an idea of, as you can see on the wall, making it visual. It looks like almost as if she could be watching a movie, right? But seeing it visually, just everybody, our brain thinks in images. That's how we see, that's how we remember. Images come to our mind. So create imagery for this, yeah? Not just products, but that is to say what your user might see or would see and feel when they see. So when you have an image, it evokes an emotion, yeah? Okay, everybody. And I believe we're getting close to time, if I'm not mistaken. Um, so let's recap. Yeah. Um, Understanding avatar in your design. Yeah. What exactly is an avatar in product design? Yeah. We talked about a detailed representation of your ideal user. Then the power of empathy-driven solutions. Empathy is at the heart of effective design, not just design, effective design. It has to be effective, but in order for it to be effective, it has to be emotionally impacting to us. We need to have some kind of release of endorphin, dopamine. We have to have that. That's how we're going to stay in this thing. You know this from all of the social media research, good and bad. Then creating your avatar, right? Using the avatar creation worksheet, start defining your avatar even more precisely, in so much as this becomes a real life person to you that you just know through and through and through and through, that you could then predict their needs. That's why you know all this information, like you would a member of your family. Like when you look over to the person and you can tell what they're thinking, like that. Yeah. Then user journey mapping. Mapping out from first discovery to regular use to each step in an opportunity to connect and solve problems with your user, with your avatar, your persona. Elements of a user's journey. Yeah, a user journey consists of various touch points and emotions. Has to be emotionally impacting at each touch point, like a movie. Yes, like your favorite movie. Think of that as you're developing this within your app, this narrative, because it is a journey. Um, Brainstorming your USP. Yeah, we went through that exercise. What sets your app apart in the market? What are your key differentiators? Not just data points that have to be emotionally compelling. Yeah. Like, I will get your child into their dream school. Does your kid want to go to Harvard? I'll get them into Harvard. Yeah. Like, that kind of boldness, but obviously you have to deliver. It can't be just made up. Problem solving in the design. Yeah, so problem solving is key in the design. We got to focus on aligning our solutions with real user challenges, real life challenges, tangible difference. Yeah. Then interactive user journey mapping, which is what we just did. Put this up, print out images, put it up on the wall, see if you track that journey, and then get feedback from the design thinking iterative process. Get feedback, yeah? See if you can get that empathetic response from them as well, yeah? Great. As we wrap up this part of the session, I would love for you all to reflect on how these concepts can improve or further refine your avatars slash personas slash ideal customer personas and your user journeys to enhance your pitch and your product design. Um, I hope you all feel more equipped to be able to go into your pitch and further development of your apps. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your participation, and I'm excited to see how you all implement these insights into your pitches. I guess we're going to take a break, and then we're going to go into that.
Fantastic. Thank you so very much, Jeremiah, for
Thank you.
wonderfully insightful session on avatar and the user journey. Thank you so very much.
Of course.
Time. So what we would invite everyone to do now is we have Jeremiah with us for some more time, but we would like to take a little break. And while we take that break, we would love to invite you to go onto HouseSpace and to have a look at the worksheets that have been shared with you so that you can start implementing directly what Jeremiah has been sharing with you. So allow me to share my screen here and make sure that we are all on the same page and make sure that we can all benefit from our time this afternoon with Jeremiah.
Until next time, happy learning.